Well, good morning. We're back. Getting to this little trailhead here, but Lassen Park has gotten dumped on. Look, I was first tracks coming in this morning. There was no tracks on the road, so I have the park to myself. We're gonna jump on snow right here and put those guys on, and we're gonna head off toward my camera. Man, a lot has happened. We got some talking to do, so let me get these snowshoes on and we'll hit the trail. All right, so since my last trip, we're at like a month. I mean, it's been longer than I wanted. I'm later than I wanted to be, as usual, right? But it's been right about a month since my last camera check. In that time, I have received word about my permit application. Remember, I applied for a scientific research permit. That was denied. And I want to be very clear that I'm not angry about that, or even, I mean, I'm frustrated, and it is what I expected. But I guess what I want to say is that I understand why it's denied. I got a very nice email from the person who now handles that. The guy that I had talked to in the past did retire, I guess. So I got an email from a representative from the park who handles the permitting stuff, basically explaining to me why, which I really appreciated, because I hadn't really gotten that before. And I'm going to summarize too much, but the basic is, when they look at those applications, they're mandated to like protect the wilderness at all costs, right? And even when they're looking at doing their own research, one of the big questions they have to ask is, can this be accomplished outside of the wilderness? And if they can say yes to that, then it's really hard to justify using the wilderness for that project or that, research or whatever it is. So in my case, my entire goal is photography, and the byproduct is sort of getting them additional data points or whatever on the Sierra Nevada red fox. Well, they don't necessarily need my data points, first of all, and what I want to accomplish can be accomplished outside of the wilderness. So in that sense, I understand. So I went a little back and forth with emails with this gal, and I basically said, the reason I want to get in the wilderness is because I've got a couple cool ideas for where I'd like to set up a camera and the type of photo I would like to get. I've kind of come around to, like, this is going to take, it's already been a year and a half. It's going to take a lot of time, I want the epic photo at the end, right? So I want to find a location where I can get spectacular backdrop that requires some elevation. In Lassen Park, high elevation areas largely are outside of the wilderness. So, or I mean, outside of the areas I can go in the wilderness. So I was kind of explaining why, and basically said, what if I could identify a spot and say my goal is to put a camera here and leave it there for, you know, as long as it takes, so I'm not all over the wilderness, but I'm in one designated place. And she basically said, well, you know, she'll talk to the group or the, you know, team that makes these decisions and kind of pass that on. So it's an ongoing kind of quest as far as that goes. But for now, I am denied the scientific research permit, and I'm limited to non-wilderness areas still. The other thing that's happened since my last video is that the Center for Biological Diversity, which is a nonprofit that lobbies the government on behalf of animals and wilderness, etc., they have begun attempting, they've petitioned the government, the federal government, on behalf of this population of Sierra Nevada red fox in order to try to get the northern population placed on the federal endangered species list, which would be huge in terms of protections, right? Remember the southern ones, if you go back to like video 1 in this series, the southern SNRFs south of here are on that list, the ones down by Yosemite and stuff. But these guys at Lassen are kind of lumped in with the Cascade ones in Oregon, and they are not. And actually they can still be trapped in Oregon, which is crazy, but not a lot of people are doing it, but they can be harvested in Oregon. So these guys are considered a part of that population, even though they're so isolated down here. So the Center for Biological Diversity has petitioned the government to get them listed, and that's kind of put them in the spotlight a little bit again. I have one contact at the Center for Biological Diversity, and I emailed her and asked, you know, is there any benefit to you guys to have somebody doing what I'm doing? Because if so, and they could sort of sponsor my efforts, it might be a much more scientifically valid reason to apply for a scientific research permit. So that's kind of on the back burner also. I'm waiting for a reply and hoping maybe they'll contact me and say, you know, we'll fill out the application, you know, on our behalf. So that would be very cool. I don't know if that's going to happen either, but because again, there's data points there, you know, there's trail cam images and all that. So they're not like relying on me for anything, you know. But there's that piece. So that's a possibility. The other thing that's happened since I was here last is oh wow, that's a new tree fall right there. There's a huge storm up here in this whole part of the state about a week and a half ago, and I couldn't get up here before the storm to check stuff or pull stuff or whatever, because I went to Alaska, which is why I'm later than I want to be right now. But the Northern Lights photography trip has been on the bucket list for a long time, and made that happen. My wife and I went up to Fairbanks, spent a week, got to see the northern lights. We went dog sledding like in the week before the Iditarod, which is pretty cool. We did all the fun stuff. Anyway, it was super cold, everything you'd expect it to be in northern Alaska in the winter. But we came back to a blizzard warning, and this storm was setting in, and there was this area here at Lassen was, the forecast was 4 to 7 feet of snow. I knew my stuff would be totally buried. I've actually never had this camera trap housing completely buried in snow for an extended period, so I'm a little nervous about that. Been wanting to get up here. Life is busy. Couldn't do it until now. So now there's another storm rolling in. Supposed to get a bit more. It's very crusty. It's been super cold. So I came up with the hopes today of digging out my camera, and I think I'm just gonna pull it. Get stuff home, get it dried out, refresh everything, and kind of start over in a new spot. It's kind of my thought. So my thought today is dig, retrieve, pull out. Because there's another storm. I'm sure my camera's already buried. There's nowhere else here to really mount stuff. I mean, in that same spot at least. And it's been, you know, it's been a few months, so a couple months. Kind of been in this spot for a while. So my thought is it may be time to move on a little bit. So this is spring. Stuff's gonna start melting off, turning around. Kind of want to save my equipment from all that moisture that's gonna happen as the days warm up and all this melts. That's already happened to some extent. That 4 to 7 feet of snow has really melted down, compacted. So I'm expecting some water in my flash housings and that kind of thing. Kind of looking forward to getting everything kind of dried out and refreshed. So that's my thought. I think I'm pulling stuff today, but we'll see if we got anything in the meantime. I've got a trail camera with me, and I've got 2 trail cameras out here still. I'm gonna get to my camera trap, dig it out, see what kind of time I have, hopefully get to that other camera and see what's going on over there also. So there you go. That's the thinking. All right, kind of came in from the other side, but my trail camera is there. That's one of my flashes. The trigger is right at snow line. There's another flash just above the snow. Another flash up there. My camera is in that lump down there. So we buried. Then get over this dead log and stuff. I don't want to step on it, but yeah, I think it's there. I'm gonna poke around. It could be that lump. I don't think that flash was right behind it. Gotta do some digging. All right, peeps, there we are. It's like my Starbucks cup visor might have met its match, but hit it on the first try. That's fun. So I got to get down deep enough to get my mount unscrewed from the log that's down there. So I'll pull the camera off of the mount and then get in there with a drill and pull that out, because I always go snowshoeing with a cordless drill because you never know, right? So There you go. I'm happy the trigger stayed up above the snow line. I mean, that thing can handle a lot of water, but I feel better with it out of there. And all my flashes are above the snow, so we should be all right. Let's get in there. We'll see what's on the memory card. All right. Moment of truth here. Sweet, looks pretty good. I wonder if it's got any battery left. Oh, it's coming to life. That's crazy. This thing's been through it, man. Dumping snow in all these pictures, and then, so there's the last like 4. There's just crazy snow. Building up. Going back through, there's 96 photos on here. Probably a lot of weather. Jumping back in time. Different phases of the snowstorm. Ooh, that's pretty. Tons of fresh snow. Lens is covered. That's me. This is back to setting up, or the last check. So if nothing else, we got a fun time lapse of that blizzard that came through, but no critters. Let's dig out that trail cam and see if it picked anything up, but nothing on the camera trap. So I'm feeling pretty good about the decision to just pull it for now. Get it home. My Starbucks cup visor on the front of this thing probably needs a little attention, but super happy with the housing situation, just making the camera survive. That's the biggest thing. So there you go. Let's see what's on the trail cam. Man, it's a whole lot easier in snowshoes at this point. You never know when that's gonna happen, right? Go down to your knees or hip. All right, there it is. Just above the snow. Forgot how I attached it. Oh, it's with wire, so I wonder if I can get that off. All right. No, well, a little bit of moisture in there, but not bad. Let's get this open. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Whoops. Whole bunch of snow. It's me just now. It's still going strong. There's only 17 clips on it. And it looks like snow stuff and me. And it looks like I left the ones from the last check. There's only a couple. So nothing on anything, but everything looks like it survived the blizzard, so that's good. So I got to pull these flashes up. The sun's coming up. It's getting pretty out here, but the further I can get before the snow gets soft, the easier it'll be. So I'm gonna get stuff packed up and get out of here. See if we can go get to that other camera. Digging that out is actually quicker than I thought it would be, so should have time to make a run for that other trail cam. All right, well, goodbye to this place. The marshy swamp thing did not deliver, but you know, I bet it would if you left the camera here for another year. You know, it would happen. Just a matter of time, I think. But I don't think it's going to happen now that it's going to be warming up in the spring. Stuff melts. These foxes are going up higher. We got, you know, a little bit more of a chance down here low, but it's March and it's going to start enticing them to go uphill. So I got two trail cams with me now in the backpack, and I'm going to take them both over to where that other one is. We'll see what that picked up. If that got anything cool, maybe we'll kind of canvas that area with these cameras also, and see where we go from there. But I've got the camera traps coming with me. I'm gonna take it home and get everything cleaned up, ready to come back and start afresh somewhere new. All right, en route to the other camera. Remember how horrible this terrain was? All the rocks and logs and all that. I mean, it's like, this is like a parking lot now. I mean, you got branches sticking up from where these logs are, that kind of thing to navigate. But I mean, you can make way better time right now than you can in the middle of summer. Pretty fun. But I'm seeing nothing but squirrel tracks, at least on top of the really fresh stuff. Woo, steep. So I'm not down in that gully yet though. We'll see. All right, I think I nailed it this time. I'm coming right down that gully and I see my camera. So camera's here, looking good. Look, there's squirrel tracks right there, but I got him. See those little guys? People think these are rabbits a lot. Get my shadow out of there. So these guys, these are the front feet, gunk, and then the backs come in front and they launch off of the backs. And they're almost always going like from a tree to another tree or a place of safety. So probably got him on video if that thing still has batteries in it. All right, see what we got here. It's good sound. We got battery. Three whole videos. I'm gonna take it off there. I can't see it. All right, there's 3 videos on there. One of them is me setting up the camera. 2 of them are me looking at squirrel tracks. So that's all you get. I'm gonna leave it. It's fine. I may wander down that way a little bit. Back down kind of toward the creek where we got the heron and that kind of area down there. And put at least one of these other cameras up. Somewhere down there. So I got a little bit of time. Do that real quick and then we'll hit the road. All right, right over here, kind of below where that log is like pointing up, like right through here. I'm seeing the only mammal tracks that I've seen at all. And they cross this little creek right here on this bridge. Little snow bridge with a log. And there's a super convenient stump right here. So I'm gonna slap a camera on that. I'm hoping you can see those tracks, but probably a coyote. I'm trying to judge the way it hopped that. If it was little or big, you know. They're old. It came by when the snow was really soft. It looks like you won't be able to see anything in them, but they come on this side and they go off that way, and they're just real little indentations. But if it came here once, you know, maybe it'll come by again, whatever it is. But I'm gonna stick a camera on this log and call it good. All right, there you go. Camera's there. That's the bridge. There's the tracks. See what we get, if anything. There's a bunch of little fingers of this stream through here. I was kind of amazed to navigate for a critter. But you know, better chance than anywhere else at this point, because it's the only sign of anything other than a squirrel that I've seen at all. So there you go. I'm gonna keep moving while the snow's frozen and hit the road. I'm gonna go home and get cameras dried out and rebuilt. So I'll come back up after this next storm and see if we can get anywhere interesting for the rest of the spring season. So there you go. SNRF quest continues. And again, I'll keep kicking around the ideas about that permit and keep having the conversation, see if I can get up high where I want to get. The photo that I have in mind is so fun. I just hope I can find a spot where it could happen. I would love to get some night sky involved in this image, which is why I want to be up high and I want to be looking over the tops of stuff. I want to find a rocky ridge where I can get the Milky Way in the background. Man, if I'm going to get the epic photo, I'm going to shoot for the stars, so to speak. So that's why I want to get up high again. That's why I want to get in the wilderness. But there could be a spot in non-wilderness that's likely. So that's my current idea for the summer season. So anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tagging along.